The market capitalization of the coin is used to summarize all that is taught in this video. I would also like to remind you to give my channel a like and subscribe to it so that you can stay up to date on future XRP news as well as other cryptocurrency news in general. Take a look at this now, shall we? Crucial Ripple case points are lost by the SEC. Ripple's journey against the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has been a challenging one up to the most recent developments, and the business has not been able to secure any significant victories. Ripple's XRP has maintained a significant distance from its all-time high price, which was reached earlier this year. Additionally, the issues have been further complicated by the expanding amounts of circulating supply and the increasing levels of competitiveness. This is despite the fact that the litigation has been tied to recurrent price hikes. If I were to look for the most latest information regarding this ongoing legal dispute, where would I find it? On July 13, 2023, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) was presented with a presentation that discussed the latest legal developments concerning Ripple FRP, which was a hurdle, while the court was in the process of issuing a summary ruling, which ultimately resulted in the dismissal of certain aspects of the case. In spite of this, the Securities and Exchange Commission is continuing its legal action, which has the potential to stretch on until the middle of the year 2026. On the occasion of the anniversary of the verdict, Ripple's chief executive officer, Brad Garlinghouse, expressed his optimism. He made a point of mentioning the persistent failures of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) and asserted Ripple's rightful position within the sector. Recent statements made by the SEC due to the fact that CX is not regarded as a kind of security. The Securities and Exchange Commission has just made the decision to end its inquiry into the corporation by terminating the investigation. There have been a number of other legal events that have taken place concurrently with this transition. Some examples of these developments are the Paxos case and the surprise approval of the FOTF. An increasing number of individuals believe that these events can be attributed to the fact that former President Trump is shown a growing interest in Bitcoin as the elections come closer. As a consequence of these actions, it is becoming more and more obvious that the strategy that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) currently employs under Chairman Gensler has some limitations. Takeaways from the inquiry that are significant, as well as lessons that stakeholders in the cryptocurrency industry should learn from the complaint filed by Ripple against the SEC, include the following. A significant precedent has been set for the industry as a result of the court's decision that sales of XRP on the secondary market do not constitute securities. This decision has substantial implications for the industry. There is a possibility that penalties will be levied on transactions involving institutions, yet the path appears to be more transparent for regular investors. Legal scrutiny that is ongoing has the potential to limit the excessive reach of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) and provide greater clarity about Bitcoin regulation. In addition, Click Stuart Alderati, who serves as the chief legal officer for Ripple, provided some remarks in reaction to the summary ruling that was issued by the court. The opinion that the courts have acknowledged the overreach of the Securities and Exchange Commission, which has provided the appropriate balances on the acts of the regulatory body ever since it was founded, was reflected in his views, which were similar to the sentiment. Alderati made the observation that the fundamental conclusion that XRP is not a security is still in place, despite the fact that there are still other aspects of the case that have not been decided. The Secretary of the Securities and Exchange Commission's and ongoing efforts to prolong the legal conflict are seen as becoming increasingly futile. Ripple and the cryptocurrency industry as a whole are anticipated to emerge stronger as a result of these efforts. When considering the future of Bitcoin regulation and investment, this is an important consideration. The significance of the presidential elections that are scheduled to take place in November 2024 is brought to light by this particular court case. Gary Gensler, the chair of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, made a crucial request in a post that was published on Friday. In the article, Gensler asked individuals to report any possible violations or instances of securities fraud to the Office of the Securities and Exchange Commission. On the other hand, XRP, Lund, and other crypto groups have voiced their disapproval and derision of his call that anyone submit the agency with a tip or complaint against the agency. Gary Gensler is forced to face with the hatred of crypto communities, despite the fact that there are concerns around regulatory overreach for the industry. During his visit to X, Gary Gensler, the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, requested that individuals file a tip or complaint directly through the website. He also urged individuals to report suspicious market movements to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Over 600 comments were received from individuals who are members of various cryptocurrency communities in response to the message. Members of the XRP and Lund communities condemned Gensler because they considered that the call to action was unwarranted and that it damaged the integrity of the cryptocurrency market. Gensler was chastised for his actions. It is interpreted by those who are involved in the Bitcoin sector as a sign of increasing regulatory scrutiny. Because Gary Gensler and the SEC were responsible for the destruction of the bust stablecoin business of Binance and Paxos, a number of people have expressed their discontent with them. In the end, the Securities and Exchange Commission made the decision to terminate the investigation into Paxos concerning the bust stablecoin. This decision was made when Judge Amy Jackson disregarded the CC's arguments that bust sales violated securities legislation. In response to Jensen's regulatory overreach on cryptocurrencies, which failed to provide regulatory clarity to the quickly expanding industry, the cryptocurrency sector has voiced its disapproval of his actions. Similar concerns have been expressed by lawmakers in the past regarding the overreach of the Securities and Exchange Commission seat, which they said was impeding the development of blockchain and cryptocurrency technology in the United States. Ripple Labs and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission filed a lawsuit against each other, which put a stop to the upward momentum that was being experienced by the price of XRP. Despite the fact that the decision that Judge Torres made on XR programmatic and secondary sales gave clarity to the community, the cryptocurrency did not suffer price increases like to those that were seen in other cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, or even meme coins. Ripple XRP has been involved in a significant fight with the Securities and Exchange Commission for a number of years, and the conflict has not been very successful. Despite the fact that the litigation has resulted in sporadic price hikes, the price has never even come close to hitting its all-time high. Because of the growing quantity of competition, the goal of having prices of $3 has become a distant prospect as a result of the increased supply that has been circulating throughout the years. This is because of the fact that the supply has been increasing over time. What is the question here? When the court delivered a summary verdict on July 13, 2023, the cases that involved Ripple, xrp, and the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States were unsuccessful in various ways. What are the most current announcements? Although the lawsuit that was filed against the leaders of the company was dismissed, the Securities and Exchange Commission is adamant about continuing to fight. There is a possibility that the litigation will not be concluded until the middle of the year 2026, according to previous speculation. The following is what Brad Garlinghouse wrote in response to the announcement of the summary judgment that was made exactly 1 year ago. The 13th of July, 2023 was a day that was extremely successful for Ripple as well as the overall business. This amazing day occurred only a few minutes ago. In addition, it was a period of time that was significant for me. In light of the fact that the bully was harassing our industry and engaging in a conflict that violated the Constitution, we believe that it was imperative to take action against him. As I indicated earlier, the moment when everything started, I was conscious of the fact that we were on the right side of the law and that the course of history would place us precisely on the right side of the law. The Gensler Securities and Exchange Commission has increased its attempts to battle cryptocurrency by bringing unsuccessful litigation, disseminating false narratives, engaging in intimidation, and other similar activities. This is because the Commission is under the impression that these actions might potentially restrict both the technology and the sector. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) made the decision earlier today that STX did not meet the criteria to be considered a security. As a result, the SEC decided to bring an end to its investigation into the company. In the course of the investigation into Paxos, we were able to observe a new development that occurred against another institution a few days ago. There is a connection between the speedy clearance of the Ethereum exchange sold by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the increasingly crypto-friendly stance that President Trump is taking. The elections are scheduled to take place in November,